In the village of the hidden shanks exists a man in control of all 4 of the drill elements. Shanks, skengs. I have way too much fucking time on my hands, Jesus. In today's video, we're gonna be making an Asian-inspired drill beat from scratch for the last drill bender himself, V9. Let's get into it. Alright, so let's start off with the melody. I'm gonna break this down as simple as I possibly can, so hopefully you can use these tips and cook up some meat at home. Alright, so let's break this down into layers. For the first layer, I used the Asian Dreams VST from DSK Music. It's got a load of different stringed instruments, and I decided to go with the koto. I started off by setting my scale to F sharp, minor natural, because it's the only fucking thing I know how to play. And what I did was I started by laying down a basic rhythm. So I started off at the bass note, and then I duplicated this over, pressed C, and then cut this in half. Then I held the right mouse, highlighted this, and pressed Control B just to duplicate it over. But at the end, I decided to drop this down by holding Shift and down, and I skipped down to D. Next, I just need to find some catchy notes to fill in the space. Then I just duplicate this over again. When I go into making melodies, I kind of see it like making a burger. You got your low end here, which is the bottom of the bun. You got your mid, which is the lettuce and the tomatoes, and then you need a top bun. At this point, I have no idea what the fuck I'm saying. I'm just talking for the sake of it. Anyway, I added some top notes. But to add some more variation on the third bar, I decided to move this over, switch these around. Then at the last bar, I did the exact same thing, except I didn't use these notes. I switched it up a little bit. And then all I did was highlight all these notes, hit Alt R to vary the velocities a little bit, applied an EQ to get rid of the lower frequencies, and that was the first layer done. Now for the second layer, I used the same VST, but instead of the koto, I used the pippa tremolo. Pippa tremolo.
That
All I did for this layer was go into my first layer and copy the same pattern. And I went in and deleted all the notes that I didn't want and just kept a couple of them, just to add like some accent. This is what it sounds like by itself, and it's gonna sound fucking awful, but give it a chance. And also use the Fruity Stereo Enhancer, set it to the 4 strings preset just to make it a bit wider. And then again, I removed the lows with an EQ. Now, when you play that bullshit together with the first layer, this is what you get. Not sounding too fucking shabby if I do say so myself. Next, I went into Labs, which is of course another free plugin. For this one, I did the exact same thing of copy and pasting the notes from the first layer. And then I just removed a few of the notes that made it sound too busy, because this was more meant to be like a pad that you can hear in the back. The bank I decided to use was the Tape Orchestra Vox Humana. I ain't reading all this shit. Just, here you go. And it has this really nice ambient sound. For this one, I got rid of some of the high and some of the lows. Now that sounds like bullshit by itself, but all together. Next, I got this really nice one-shot from a Bamboo Flute one-shot kit, and then I pitched it down 1 semitone so that it was in key with the rest of the sample. Then I got another one-shot from that exact same kit, pitched it down so it was in key and it sounded like this. But then I took that little sample and chopped it up into 3 different parts, making sure that with each part, I would make it unique and then pitch it down or up a bit. Then I automated the volume a little bit by clicking on this top left menu and going to automate volume. And then I could kind of fade it off a bit cleaner, cut the lows out of that, applied some kickstart and set that to 1/4 so that the chops weren't as obvious. And then all together, Now, I know I said it would all be free VSTs, but you could pretty much replace this section for any other free VST that has a bass. I went into Contact and loaded the Battle Burial
That you had.
The Battle Burial Grounds bank in the pad section of Balkan Ethnic Orchestra. And I just laid down some notes following the bass notes from my main melody. In terms of the arrangement, I just had everything playing. Then for the next part, I removed the flutes and just introduced the voices in the back. Then for the final part of the loop, I just put some halftime on the master, reduced the lows a little bit with these little bands here, set it to 1 bar, and just made the whole loop kind of go slow-mo. For the mixing, I didn't really do shit. I just threw some fresh air on there like I always do, increased the mids and highs a little bit. Also, I used some sound shifter to pitch it up 4 semitones. This is what I had before. Alright, so I hope the melody portion of this video was helpful. If there was anything that didn't make sense, just run the video back and watch it again. If you're finding the video helpful so far, drop a like, it's free. And if you don't,
I'll kill you.
now let's find a little perk to layer over. Let's grab one of these fills from my drum kit. Ooh, let's go with this one. Now I'm going to the Hayez Pure Drill Kit and I'm gonna find a mean sounding 808. By the way, all the kits that I'm gonna use on this beat, I'm gonna put in the description, so just check there instead of sending me messages all the time asking me for specific sounds. That had so much spice to it, I apologize. But stop sending me the messages. Now what I'm gonna do is set this to 1/6, make the notes as small as possible. But instead of making the notes roll right at the beginning of the note, I'm gonna drag them over 1 bar, so there's kind of a delay. So it's just, instead of woo, it's like woo. Ooh. To be honest, I think I might have to pitch my 808 up because it's sounding really good on my headphones, but I have a feeling that you're not going to be able to hear shit on phone speakers. And the majority of people that are listening to your beats are going to be listening to them on phone speakers, on YouTube or whatever the fuck. quick arrangement. Now just before the drop, I'm gonna chop a little hole in the melody. Gonna make it unique, then I'm just gonna reverse it. So there's a little rewind effect just before the drop.
Jay, turn it up a little. Turn it up a little.
If you guys made it to the end of the video, as always, thank you so much for watching. If you found any value in the video, consider hitting the thumbs up, drop a comment, let me know what you thought of the video. If you don't want to miss my next video, consider hitting the subscribe and the little bell next to it. Now that you're done watching the video, if you want to learn how to make ethnic drill melodies from scratch for Rust Millions, check out this video next. Then check out another one. Then check out another one. Then check out another one. I'm trying to buy a Lambo.